Hello and welcome, listeners, to our podcast. I am Rissa.
And I am Ariana.
And we are the Krolmeister sisters. As a reminder, this is not a rated G podcast. This is rated T for teen for mild to strong language and references to drinking.
And violence. So much violence.
Yes.
Yes. If you want a family-friendly podcast, then you can check out hers very own podcast, Unlocked.
That
you
is
can find on
YouTube
and what is it? Is it in
iTunes?
the Apple? iTunes, that's it. You know, that Apple Store thing.
That Apple thing.
That Apple thing.
You know, that everyone uses.
That Macintosh, right?
Yeah. You know, that Macintosh Apple. Yeah, thing.
The Fuji. Granny Smith. I don't know. What are the kids calling it these days?
Right. So what are we talking about today, sister? It's a very special topic.
Today we're I'm sorry. All I want to say is that we're talking about gay people. That's it.
Today we're talking about the gays.
Just the gays.
I'm just going to slap this with a disclaimer. We're not just two straight people talking about gay things. Just going to put that out there. These are our LGBT headcanons for the Nancy Drew games. This one especially counts as...
That's a much better way to introduce it than talking about gay people.
We're not just discussing the gays.
Can you title it "Discussing the Gays"?
I'm not going to title it "Discussing the Gays" because I do not think.
Me.
Yes, I am silencing you. Just like I sometimes edit out what you say.
Yeah. No, I noticed
that. So, before we get started on our actual headcanons of who is and isn't who are and aren't members of the LGBT.
Get your sentences together, Rissa.
I can't. English is too confusing.
Yes.
Who are and aren't members of the LGBT community. There. I said it.
So before we get to talking about that,
we're just going to address the weird forum stuff that happened. The actual official Her Interactive forums, when this all came out, sorry, I'm on like my second beer, so I'm a little burpy. So when it was revealed in Sea of Darkness that Dagny was at least, well, you know, it's not outright stated she's a lesbian. She had either an ex-wife or ex-girlfriend. It's not completely.
I thought they definitely said they were married.
I think that's what I'm remembering is that she was an ex-wife.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite sure because it's technically before it was legal to gay marriage in the U.S.
It was legal to gay marriage.
The Marriage Equality Act thing didn't happen until, June, and this didn't come out until, it was in May or something. So technically, that's why. That's my only reasoning for.
Well, hey, there've always been some states
and other countries.
Well, yes, but I mean,
there's that.
There is that whole thing.
So when that happened, when that came out, there were some really weird reactions on the forums. There were a lot of, fans of the games who were very upset about it because it wasn't something that they necessarily agreed with, that it was appropriate to talk about, I guess, because I guess gay people can't exist. I guess that's inappropriate.
It's like, I don't know, man. They throw straight people in your face, but one
really like
gay
it.
Character.
I mean, I was playing, Secret of Shadow Ranch, and I was having a really good time. And then they threw in this thing with like Tex and Mariazi, and I was just like, whoa. I mean, they didn't look straight, so I'm just like, wow. I guess they're heterosexual, but I mean, I'm okay with it. But it was just, whew. I mean, I have straight friends. So. But,
I have straight friends.
I do. There's nothing, I don't agree with the lifestyle, but there's, I have straight friends, so I'm not heterophobic.
I have a friend who is straight as well. Maybe I can hook you up with them. Sound nice?
So, apparently on the forums, we had a bunch of fans who were upset about it, that it's like, oh, this is a children's game, shouldn't be pushing your agenda, because you know how we are us queers with our queer agenda.
Oh, that queer agenda.
Yeah. It usually just consists of living.
Damn.
I know. So, I guess I wasn't on the forums. I'm not gonna lie. Because I tried to join the forums back a while ago when I was on we were on a private email server at the time, and they didn't let me join because I was on a private email server. So I couldn't join with my email. And that was like in, I don't know, 2005, 2004. It's one of those times where they were like, oh, you have to have like an AOL or something like that. It was really weird. It was like a bunch of domains that were just like approved to use, and because I didn't have one of those, I was automatically a spam bot or something. I don't know. So I just never joined. But this is what I'm getting. So, and then I guess people started making topics and stuff on the forum about, well, there's one LGBT person. What are your headcanons for others? And they like got deleted and stuff by her staff. So I guess it's kind of an awkward and touchy subject. When actually referring to her attractive, which is weird because like gay people exist.
And so, then they put one right there.
They they literally put her.
Look, we have representation. Shh, don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it.
We can't mention it, but I mean, look, representation.
Yeah, such great representation. All we do is it's only mentioned in one text on her phone.
Yay! And it's a failed relationship.
It's a failed relationship. So instead of talking about, having it all be, awkward and not talking about it, Let's are going to talk about it. These are all of the people that, as we've been playing the games growing up, we've automatically just kind of assumed.
Yeah.
Most of these. Like, I'm not going to lie. It's just like our first one growing up. This was just something we assumed. Yeah, Rose and Abby from Message in a Haunted Mansion.
Never once questioned it, and that's what I thought it was. Then I realized growing up, oh, no, they never actually referenced that as a thing.
Yeah, they're not actually, it's never stated, but it's pretty, to me, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
That they're in a relationship. Yep. I do, however, think Abby is bi.
Well, yes.
Rose is a lesbian, though, in my opinion. And it's just one of those things that it just felt right.
Yeah, it felt right.
Yeah. They just are.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've just wrote a long list of the people we thought of.
This is a very long list.
It is a long list because, there are some games where you look at it and you're like, oh no, there's only straight people in that game. You just look at it and you're just kind of like, eh. Bunch of
all of the straights.
So, obviously, there's not one from every single game, but there are several games where there are several people as well. So, Ingrid Corey.
Definitely.
From, that one, the Haunted Carousel.
Haunted Carousel. There you go.
I was like the one that I never remember the plot to, despite playing it at least 5 times. That's a conservative estimate for how many times I played that game.
Estimate. I'm pretty sure it's way more than that.
But I never remember that game. So every time I play it, I re-experience Ingrid completely just hitting on Nancy.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah. She straight up hits on Nancy.
She just straight up hits on Nancy. And she's. I don't know if she's a lesbian. She's a woman. She's definitely sapphic in some sense. I would say she's probably, I feel like she's pan, or just like her sexuality is fluid and she never questions it. You know, she likes who she likes, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like with her.
Definitely feel because that she'd be like all. It's just all organic. Whatever chemistry is there.
Exactly.
Goes with her very well.
So, like, I feel like I'm not someone who's against labels. Like, I use a label for myself. I am pansexual, but I feel like Ingrid wouldn't use a label for herself. She would just go with the flow and just experience whatever.
Life is an experience.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And she's gorgeous, too, so she could totally just, do whatever she wants.
Get away with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do whatever she wants.
Do whatever she wants.
She can do whatever she wants.
You know what
Take me, Ingrid.
Shut up.
You heard it here, guys.
I might have had a tiny crush on her when we played the game. So I say the next one on my list, because what I did was I just listed all the ones I could think of, like off the top of my head, who I knew exactly what I thought of them. And then after that, we went kind of game by game. So the next one I thought of just immediately was Katie Firestone from Danger on Deception Island. She's really the only person in the games I've truly vehemently headcanoned as trans.
Mm-hmm. And we have like very specific. Our belief in this goes very deep. Because
it does.
It's that's the reason that people are so weird and awkward with her.
And then no one wants to tell Nancy about it because they don't want to seem like that guy, you know?
Yeah.
So they just dance around the subject. No, we just don't like her because she's whales.
I don't like her because, whales.
I mean, it's just, and that's another thing is that a lot of the time, a huge part of why everyone says they don't like her is she talks too much about the things she believes in and is putting too much into her activism in that part of it. And that's actually something that happens a lot specifically with trans women, is that they get treated like they're talking too much because they have the gall to exist. Yeah. So, anything they say is just, too much, basically. So I feel because it's we meet Katie and she doesn't do that. So it just seems weird that everyone starts talking about how she does that. And then it's just...
So she's exactly... And everybody's pretty on... They're all about it. They're all on the same page about it. So, but then we're not seeing at all what they're talking about.
Exactly. It's just weird. It's just weird.
It's weird.
Next, Lila from Waverly... Warnings at Waverly Academy.
Yeah, Lila Otto is definitely lesbian.
Yeah, she's definitely... And it's she's someone who... she's going out with that guy because she knows she's supposed to be going out with that guy. So it's she's popular. She needs the boyfriend because that's what all the other popular smart girls have. They have the boyfriend, so she gets the boyfriend, and he's, the guy she's sure is probably attractive. It's I've seen so many people like Lila exist.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And then they come out later in life and they're like, wow, I don't know, I don't know. Everyone just tells me they never saw it. And we're like, I saw it.
Those people are stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty clear. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a whole list of people in my head right now.
Of who I'm talking about? Yes. Yes, there's a lot of them.
Big long list of Lila Ottos.
Yeah. We think Gray from Deadly Device was, at least... Because that's the thing, is all these people...
a singular male attraction, too.
I have completely headcanoned that he was in love with Nico. That's just...
Well, no, technically you headcanon that
he's in love with
what's his
face, the dead one.
What's his face? Technically
I did not know. I could not remember his name for the life of me while I was writing this list. I was like, what is his name? I kept trying to say Victor, but I was like, that is definitely not who I'm trying to think of.
Scary bald man.
Yeah, it's just Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges from Iron
Man. Who we do not headcanon as any kind of. No.
I don't want to.
No.
He's the person that I want to not ever know anything about that part of his life because he's way too aggressive in normal life.
That means he totally is into BDSM and he's the sub. Come on. Yeah,
no, he goes. But I'm not comfortable with it.
He goes and he pays a woman to step on his back in stilettos. That's. I'm sorry, guys. Remember, T for teen.
T for teen. You're that kind of teen.
I'm just. Yes. So, next on our list, these are still just the ones that I thought of off the top of my head. Alexi from Alibi and Ashes.
Yeah.
I think he's bi, but probably leans towards dudes.
Yeah, definitely. And it feels like he just sort of had to repress those things because he was the boy detective.
He was in the spotlight. So
he was that golden child, so he felt like he had certain expectations of him, and that was not one of them.
Exactly. So, but that's what that
repressed man.
Yeah, that's just what that feels like. I don't know.
So much about Alexi makes me sad.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just a really.
He could have had a normal life.
He really could have. It's just everyone put too many expectations on him, and it just ended in disaster. It's really sad. Talking of that game, though, I think Deirdre.
Yeah. Oh, no. 100% out.
I mean, obviously she is into Ned, so she's also into dudes. But, so she's bi. But she's definitely into Nancy, too.
Unless she's into Ned, because he's with Nancy.
It could be that.
Could be one of those sorts of things, but no, I don't think so. I think she does have.
I think she might happily be in a polyamorous relationship with Ned and Nancy. And you know what? I feel like that actually might be a really good for them, because Nancy
maybe Ned can actually get some attention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it would mostly just be Deirdre and Ned being in a relationship with Nancy flitting in and out.
Floater. Yeah.
She sometimes shares the bed.
This is our occasional friend Nancy.
Yeah. I mean, But I mean, if we're talking about just real quick, Ned though, I feel like Ned might have some inklings of bisexuality, but I think he just loves Nancy so much he's never gonna explore them.
Oh. See, I don't. I feel like, but I do feel like he is very, I feel like a lot of guys end up having crushes on him and trying to,
yeah.
Ned, can I? And he goes, oh man, no, that's so sweet. But I've got a girlfriend, and but you know what? I really appreciate that. You know what? I feel good about it. You just encourage them.
Yeah. Definitely. Ned's breaking all the boys' hearts.
He's breaking all the boys' hearts, but he's fixing them too.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Ariana disagrees with me on this one.
I do.
But I think Alejandro from Secret of the Scarlet Hand. I always thought of it. I thought he was just, in the hunk subculture.
See, I don't think so, but I don't believe this enough to dispute it. So I'm just gonna ride with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He just gives off that vibe to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
2 seconds. I got to plug my computer in. Sorry. Marks. Plug in, you piece of gosa.
That reminds me, one of my friends, when we play Star Wars RPG, she uses Firefly swears. Because she doesn't know Star Wars swears, so she says go ram and stuff.
There we go.
Okay.
I had to find out which switch was the right one to turn on that outlet. One of them turns on the porch light.
Okay.
Well, we don't use these switches ever, so anyway.
So I think that Joy from Haunted Carousel is asexual as fuck.
Yes.
Like, she reminds me of people I know.
Yes, very much.
Yeah, doesn't she though?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just, I just feel like that's part of her. Yeah. Like, part of why she feels awkward around people sometimes is she probably feels like there's something wrong there, but even though there isn't.
Yeah, she feels like she's supposed to be interacting with people in a certain way, and she's not because, that's not there.
Yeah.
It's
so
sad.
It just adds on to her numerous self-conscious traits.
She just a big ball of anxiety and neuroticisms. Yep. No, I'm going with that one.
Okay. So, also, we think Richard Topham has been I feel like he's definitely been coded as gay. I just don't feel like that's just our imagination. That's definitely
there. That's not like...
And as an extension of that, I feel like Josiah Crowley is also, the old guy that dies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially Josiah Crowley. Like, I know he's technically not...
The one that sparks the whole freaking thing.
I feel like he... Because, oh my god, he was into the theater. He sponsored a magician man to come live with him.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
I'm not
hadn't really thought about that part.
But...
two confirmed bachelors living together.
I mean,
That's me being all shady as a 1920s person. 1930s.
Yeah, it's 1930.
It's 1930!
For some fucking reason. I'm sorry. I'm done. I can't go into it. I can't go into it now.
We'll move on.
George. Yeah. Our friend George.
Our good friend George.
George Fane. She... yep. I feel like she's not... I feel
like she's ace. She's super ace.
I think she's asexual, but I honestly think she's homoromantic.
Homoromantic? Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because I don't think... I don't know. It's weird. But that's just what she gives off to me.
Yeah.
Especially after they've remade her, like, around Ransom of the Seven Ships, how they kind of remade her character. I think that's when I started thinking it. God, those character models were really terrifying.
Oh my God. Freaking George especially.
Yeah.
Like, the way they made her,
yeah, it's weird.
She looks like one of those really terribly done rich ladies in La Jolla that just, like, their bones are sticking out all funky and their skin's hanging off them strange.
Wow. I don't know.
She looks like botched plastic surgery. I'm gonna just say it.
Their eyes are just too big. It's weird. Yeah. That and Mornings of Waverly Academy. Another one of ours that we just...
Oh, yeah.
We've always, like, the moment we played this game, this is what we inferred from it. I guess not everyone did. But Qasimi, Miwako and Yumi's mom, in Shadow at Water's Edge. We completely headcanoned it as Qasimi was in a relationship with her friend Marianne. And that's part of why she ended up... Because how we see it is that she did commit suicide. She had depression. So that's, how we see it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of other people didn't...
Takai was trying to keep her from going to see her because she just kind of wanted to discourage the relationship. And that's part of why Takai really feels bad.
Yeah. That's kind of... That's how we always saw it.
We started finding all of the letters from Marianne, from Marianne? Yeah.
To Marianne, I thought. I don't know. But the letters with Marianne.
We found the letters, and we just kind of looked at each other at one point, like, they were in a relationship, right? Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, and it was just very clear that she had depression and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of people don't read that from the game.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, that was just so... Like, I thought that was intentional.
That maybe more sensitive to the fact, just, there's nothing else. I got that whole depression thing going.
Yeah. So it's just, I guess from our worldview, we're more likely to see queer and mentally ill people from characters.
So, yeah.
When you grow up in a household where half of the people are bisexual.
Yes.
It just shows like that. But yeah, that's definitely one of the ones that we saw the moment we played the game. Mm-hmm. So it sticks with me as definitely being one of those. Another one that's definitely like that for me is Moira from Silent Spy.
Yes.
She, holy shit. The unrequited love to Kate. Because I don't think Kate really... even if Kate... I don't know enough about Kate. We didn't hear enough about Kate really from Kate's point of view to see how she was. So I don't know if she was into the ladies, but I have a big feeling she definitely did not return the feelings to Moira.
Yeah, I think that what honestly in my head what happened was Moira kind of without actually saying anything, she was like, yeah, Kate, I really like you, and Kate just sort of made sure that she knew that no, we're friends, and rather than lose that, Moira was like, okay, we're friends, we'll be friends forever.
Yeah.
Just kind of really, Moira makes me so sad.
Moira makes me so sad. And if you can read those letters to Kate from after Kate dies, and Moira knows that Kate is dead, and you look at those and you don't think that Moira was in love with Kate, I don't know how...
I don't know how you function.
I don't know how we read the same thing, because holy shit.
Yeah.
The tear-stained pages, and you're gone, and I can't believe you're gone.
Fall.
I'm Moira, no.
Oh. I hate it.
Seriously. Another person, I feel like, I read it this way. Again, I don't know if other people did, but Jessalyn, Jess from Thornton Hall. Is that Ghost of Thornton Hall? Is that what it's called?
Ghost of Thornton Hall, yeah.
Yeah, Ghost, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about. Ghost of Thornton Hall. I was like, GTH, whatever that one is.
What's the G stand for?
So...
Gas.
Well.
Gas of Thornton Hall.
So I think Jessalyn, I feel like that's part of why she and Colton... I know that part of it is that Colton has someone else he cares about in that way. Also, I think Colton is bi, but that's just me, I guess. But totally represses it because he's, of big money and you can't have a gay son, or
big
even...
money.
Because if you're... Shut up. So...
Big money, big money, big money.
You're so mean to me. Why are you so mean to me?
I'm tired. I get really mean when I'm tired.
But I definitely think that part of that is that Jessalyn's just not really interested in dudes. You know? That's how I feel about it. Maybe she and her friend that starts with an A.
Yeah, see, that's kind of what,
you know, starts with an A with the cat picture. Yeah, name.
Cat picture.
But yeah, Addison. So I think...
Yep.
So I feel like maybe there's something there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just what it feels like to me. However, okay, so when we were going through a list of the games and thinking about each game individually, what we started noticing was actually a really bad trend, in a way, is that a lot of really, like, honestly, queer-coded characters in the games ended up being the villain. And that's not, like, really something that we put onto these characters. They are legitimately queer-coded characters.
Yeah, they are 100% caricatures of that, oh, look at me, I'm flamboyant and gay. It's
just, that's really awkward to me that Her Interactive did that a lot of the time. I mean, we've already had discussions on Tumblr a lot about how a lot of the time in a game that there is like a person of color in it, they are sometimes the bad guy. Like, it happens more than it really should, since not every game has a person of color in it.
Yeah.
So when you have, like, Warnings at Waverly Academy, and, you have, Haunted Carousel, and you have, all of these things where the person of color is the bad guy, and you're just like, oh, that's really, really awkward. So we noticed that that's something that they did a lot with the queer-coded characters as well. And that's just really bad. We're still going to go through them because, we still have them there.
Because we are not biased of our, representation. We're like,
even the bad guys. But
good,
it's just really
you
awkward.
Still are a person.
That in a lot of these games where there's no one else who's queer-coded, and then the queer-coded person is the bad guy.
Like the first one that I want to bring up is, here we are at Shadow Ranch. We've got Dave, who's he's all...
You mean Tex, who's all...
No, I was just not doing the right voice.
Yeah, okay.
Dave's cowboy.
Dave's the cowboy. Bashful cowboy.
Yeah. He's all, oh, hey, Miss Nancy's like... And then we've got Tex, who's good old cowboy who just loves women. And then we've got Shorty, the flamboyant guy who works in the kitchen and
is a gossip monger. Yeah.
Totally like, backstabbing. And
it's like, and then that's part of, like, why he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really awkward. Because it's, like, the only person in that game who is in any way queer-coded, and then he's the bad guy. I feel like the same about Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake, where everyone is pretty much, like, they're straight people. Like, Red Knot, if you're going to look around, he's, like, straight with a capital S. Like, the kind of person who just, has really bad opinions about the LGBT community and voices them quite loudly. That's Red Knot. Same with Holt Scotto, but whatever. But then you get Emily, who's very queer-coded. Yeah. She's definitely...
Right down to the flannel.
She's definitely coded to be a lesbian. Yeah. And then she's the bad guy. And it's just another thing where, being a kid... And I never noticed that she was queer-coded. And I was, queer. And then she was the bad guy. And it's just, it's just like, I'm the bad guy. Okay. Yeah. And then Taylor Sinclair. with his effeminate tie and his ties and his way of speech and his interest in art and all of these things that are just, even if you can believe that he's not gay, these are still queer-coded things that they do with him. Traits, thank you. So even if you don't headcanon him as gay, you're still attributing all of these traits to him and then making him the bad guy. Yeah. And it's very awkward to me.
It wouldn't be so bad, but it's, let's say, how they villainize them.
And the same thing with, like, Lisa from Treasure in the Royal Tower. Another one who's, like, she's very lesbian coded. She's got the short hair. She's in so journalism.
90s lesbian. She's 90s lesbian to a T.
She really, really is. And then she's the bad guy.
Because, I don't know, it's sort of like, how dare you not be...
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. You see it more in the older games. Mm-hmm. Because I also see that Elliot Chen is kind of queer-coded in a way. Not so much as the others. No. But it's just a lot of those really early games, you get this. The bad guys, like even Louis Chandler. I mean, really. He's like, not totally, but it's still a little bit there, I feel, in the way that they portrayed his mannerisms and stuff.
I saw him as an uptight white guy. Honestly. He's got that repressed white guy thing.
But it's just like all of those earlier games, they did that a lot. And I want to say it's just the earlier games that did it. But then we literally have the latest game, Sea of Darkness, where Soren is queer-coded. Like, he's not the only one in the game, thankfully. I mean, we already talked about Dagny. That she is canon, has had a relationship with a woman that was incredibly serious relationship, even if it failed, which, of course, that's how they had to do it. But he's not the only one in the game, but he's still, it's like we get very, very few people that are queer-coded in these games. Like, we just listed, like, a fraction.
Yeah.
And as well as in Labyrinth of Lies. I mean, I know everyone's the bad guy.
Yeah, in all fairness, that's a weird one. Everyone's the bad guy.
So, but still, I feel like Grigor is definitely bi. Like, bi 100%.
100%.
But at least in that one, it's like everyone's the bad guy, so he doesn't feel singled out. And I don't feel like he's completely queer-coded. I feel like that's part of just us seeing him as someone that we've known. Lots of people we've known in the past. And just associating
that theater guy that's just like...
Because I also feel like Niobe is queer in some way. I don't know. Again, it's really hard to put a name on these things. Like, some people are very, very, like, I think they're definitely gay. But other people are like, they could just be bi. Yeah. You know, we don't know. But, like, they didn't single him out. But even with, like, Soren was definitely queer-coded. And I know some people on Tumblr...
I will trust you on that because I do not remember him at all.
I know that some people on Tumblr have said that it's actually in the game somewhere that he is gay, but I don't remember seeing it. So if you guys remember, please tell me. Put it in the comments. Reblog it with that, whatever. Just do something like that. I don't remember where that is. But I mean, I'll trust you guys. So he's definitely out there as that. And I feel like they also portray Dagny as being a bad person. And then
just because
she's, you know, she's the gay one and she's a bad person. And it's just kind of like, oh, thanks.
Like, I don't know, because she's I understand that
she doesn't care about people. Yeah. She's like, that's the whole point of her, is that she just doesn't care, really.
Yeah, I'm good with people who don't care. I don't think they're bad people.
I know, but it's like everyone else treats her like that. So it's just, I don't know. It just feels like I got given a bone, but it was like moldy.
Yeah. So this is your queer representation. You can't talk about it, and also she's kind of a bitch.
I know, right? It's like, here you go. I gave you food though, so don't complain that it's stale, moldy bread.
Right.
I gave you something.
At least you have it.
I know. There are people out there who don't have any, so come on.
Take what you can get.
Yeah, and I don't want to take what I can get. I want to take all of the other people that I've talked about in this podcast.
I want to take all of them.
You know what I mean.
Crazy
I'm just going to hoard. No, I'm going to hoard them all as queer characters, and straight people can't touch them anymore.
Drag them with a horde of characters.
So I'm just going to say that for queer people everywhere, I have claimed all of these characters. They're ours. Straight people, I'm sorry. You cannot touch them anymore. Sorry. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them.
Step away from that character. This has been claimed.
Yeah. So, if you guys want to leave us if we left out any of your queer headcanons, I know we were pretty in depth. If you disagree with us on any of these, well, it's too fucking bad because, as I've said, I claimed them, so But no.
Get your straight hands off them.
Yeah, but no. Yeah. If you guys have what you specifically think, please tell us. We want to hear it. So.
I mean, I don't really care what you think, but
Oh, wow.
I don't care about people or anything.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You've been coded as a bad person.
I've been coded as a bad person.
Okay. Well, thank you, Clue Crew. Thank you for listening to us through this.
Yeah, for listening to us rant and ramble and rave.
And
something else beginning with an R.
Yeah. You know what, guys? I'm going to ask you to stay sleuthy.